Okay, I'm so glad you guys could come today because I'm pretty excited about the intervention strategy that I want to tell you about because it is actually showing some improvement. I know that you all know it's for my class. My class is EDOL 647, and this is like my culminating project to show that I can be a teacher leader. Are you going to do the agenda for us?
Yes, I've got your minutes.
Did you start our time?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so for our agenda, I'm going to show you my vision statement that I needed to create as a leader for the class. And then where it says PLC part 1 and part 2, it has to do with like 2 different ways you can use the intervention. I've only used the part 1 so far, but I'm starting the part 2 next week. So part 1 actually had 2 steps, and then part 2 is like the next step that you could take it to since we know this works. Then I'll show you the data that I've collected, my reflection for like if I would have done anything differently, and again, even further next steps that I could have taken outside of the one I'm going to start next week. And then there's just a placeholder in here because I'm going to upload our video to YouTube and link it, and then my reflection to my teacher. So that is my agenda for today. So we already talked about you all being the timekeeper and facilitator for me. I'm pretty sure that you are familiar with, I'm sure you're probably familiar with the literacy specialist programs. I've been working on all courses for improving reading and writing instruction and being a teacher leader. So like being able to lead PLCs or coach teachers on strategies that I think could be helpful to them. I will show you my vision statement in just a second. And the essential questions that we always have to remember during a PLC is, what are we wanting our children to learn by this intervention? How will we know when they've got it? How will we respond when they don't learn? And how will enrich the students who've already learned what we want them to? And that's where I wanted to talk to you, because we have been doing it as earning wellness time, and so I'm hoping that my kids that have already got it and don't need any more intervention shouldn't be slowed down by the rest of us, and maybe they can go out with your class and not have to be held back. So the PLC project is just that, like showing the video and showing that I have the information all together for you. I'll introduce my strategy again, I'll show you my data, and I'll show you the reflection. So at the end, if you don't mind, have you all ever done a PSQ before? Okay, so if you can just tell me one thing you like about the strategy, a suggestion for how you think would be a better way to use it, and a question that you still have, that would be fantastic. And then let me know if you feel like, holy cow, I don't really know what you were just talking about. That would be great too. So my vision statement that I wrote, and I feel like this is pretty true for me, is that as a teacher leader, I hope to ignite a passion for learning throughout life and outside of the confines of the classroom. I never want kids or teachers, either one, to think that we come to school to learn and then the rest of our life is whatever. I want them to know learning is exciting and learning should be happening all the time. And I have a strong belief in the theory that if you're hungry enough to do something or find information, then you will get access to it. Like you will work harder to read the research on it. You will go find other resources until you totally understand how it should happen. Okay, so identifying the problem in my classroom, as you well know, was that we struggle a lot with behavior in here. We struggle a lot with blurting, and then it escalates quickly. So if they blurt, the confines of control, I feel like, are starting to loosen. And then the more that they blurt, the more I feel like they think they are allowed to say whatever it is that they want to say. Then they react to that, each other's comments, and then from there it's hard to pull it back in. Sometimes when I'm dealing with just the comments and reactions that they've made, I've got students starting to break other rules, then get up out of their seat when they're not supposed to, stop working on their work, all those kinds of things. So I felt like this was the place I needed to start. And I do have strict expectations, but this is the one thing that I notice gets me spiraling down that bad path with them. So to improve their behavior, I'm going to use, or I have been using this, it's called First Step Next Strategy. So it's a lanyard that has green on one side and red on the other. It's pretty self-explanatory, and a timer. And the strategy is if they can improve their behavior, they could earn extra wellness. So when I started it at the beginning of the week before spring break, since we were out last week, we did it with just a small amount of time. We did it with like 30 minutes. And so you can tell my timer is set for 6 minutes right now. I had it set for 1 minute. So for 1 minute, every 1 minute that they did not blurt, I would wear the lanyard and it was on green. And I would even like coach them and prompt them and be like, we're on green, congratulations, and I would teach. So for 1 minute I had no interruptions, the timer would beep, and then I had assigned a really trustworthy student and said, oh, we got that minute, because it beeped and I'm on green. So they would mark a tally. So then they had the chance to earn 30 minutes of recess that day. And they were pretty successful. You'll see their results in a minute. They really liked it the first day. They slid back one day and then they got even better. But anytime I did hear talking, I would turn it. And at first I'm like, oh gosh, I hear that, we're on red. Oh, thank you, congratulations, you're back on green, because they would quickly fix it. Oh, we're on red. And it just so happens that whatever color we're on when it beeps, you get or you don't get the point. Then the second day I moved it to 2-minute intervals, 3-minute intervals, 4-minute intervals, and by Friday we were on 5-minute intervals. So we're on Monday, they had the opportunity, we only have a 20-minute wellness, they had the opportunity to earn 30 minutes if they did it right. By Friday, when they only had the opportunity to earn 5, because it was only going to go off every 6, or they had the opportunity to earn 6 extra minutes, because it's only going to go off once every 5, then I allowed them to just add that to their normal 20, if that makes sense. I'm looking to see, yeah. So to start the intervention, it went really well. They did really well that first week. And then when I said, guys, look, like we've done really good. Look how much time we're getting ready to go outside, or have wellness, I should say. Then this week, what I have been doing is a whole class all day. So we start as soon as I pick them up in the morning, and I just let them know, like kind of when we get to the end of the hallway, okay, my timer's starting for the day. And I keep my timer, you all probably see me walking around, but I keep it right here so it's all together. Sometimes I tally on here, but it's a pain to clean it off and get smudged. And then I like to empower a student that can tally for us. So this week it's been all day, which is certainly a whole lot longer. And so we started at 0 minutes, and then we earned our wellness. Never did I take any time away. Just you earned it or you did not. They've done really well also with this week. So they could earn even extra. They could earn like 30 minutes because we started those increments really small again and came all the way back up. And they like it. You know, they'll listen, and then they like to check in with the student that's doing the tallying. How many minutes of recess do we have? And then they also help keep each other accountable better. We're not gonna earn the minute. You don't know when it's gonna be, kind of a thing. So it's cool. So here's our graph with our data. The first line is the first week that I was just doing the 30-minute increments. So you can see on Wednesday they came down a little bit, but if you remember also my class struggles when they go to gym for special area, and I was doing my time after special area, and they really were having a hard time pulling it back together. So it was kind of expected, and I thought it was interesting. It happened again this week. They have a dip on Wednesday. And this is projected for Friday. So I projected in the high percentiles because of their trend and because of what I saw happen last week. So just so you know, this dot is not actually factual, it's projected. But it's still really good. Like if you consider our starting and our growth, I feel like it speaks for itself that it was a successful strategy. So from what I have, I feel like it was effective. I feel like I will continue to use it. We're gonna set goals towards different rewards though, because like I said, I have those kids that shouldn't be held back, first of all. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit. And then next week, I think I'm going to identify I have about 6 to 8 students that are consistently the problem for all of us. So I think I'm going to let them alternate days. Today's your day to play the game. It's all on you. And so I'm going to start them small again, back with 30 minutes, but it's all about their behavior specifically. And if they're successful, if they meet my goals, then the whole class will get a prize. Either the whole class gets extra wellness that day, or the whole class gets a pencil, or the whole class gets a sticker. So it empowers them, right? Everybody's waiting on them. And then secondly, I feel like this group gets really bored with the same old stuff, and they get frustrated with those same 6 or 8 that are struggling. So I will let you know how that part goes.
My only concern with that one would be like oh, if it's your day, then you're going to act a fool. That would be my only
Could be,
concern.
yeah.
Because, like, so both of you have issues talking and blurting out, but you know that it's your day, so you're going to sit really quiet. But you know your behavior doesn't matter today.
So that's a good point. Like, I wonder if it would be motivating.
You have to, like, draw a stick at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or pretend like you're drawing a stick, you don't know who it's going to be or something.
Or, yeah, maybe say,
Or draw a stick at the beginning of the day and be like, oh, I know who it is. I'm going to watch you today. We'll find out at the end of the day who it is.
I got to. Like,
And write it on a post-it note and put it in your pocket and be like, at the end of the day, we'll look at this pocket. Or something like that.
That's a great idea.
Because that way, my concern is with some of those, your kiddos, if they know that their behavior doesn't matter today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and their behavior would still matter. Like, we would still maybe structure their wellness when we do go outside. But I get what you're saying. And I'm wondering, too, like, if your behavior is off the chain and it's not your day, because we're focused on somebody else, you won't get to play my game tomorrow.
Right.
You won't be my focus. Maybe I can leverage that a little bit, too. But I hadn't even thought of it, so I'm glad you brought it up. There's a really good article from Vanderbilt University here that talks about, and there was another one back that I didn't identify earlier from EDOL, which is where the strategy originated, that Kent school that's connected with EDOL. But if you guys want this PowerPoint or those resources, I would be happy to forward those to show you the research. So basically that's the intervention too that I just explained to you. As far as having it go with a child instead of the whole class. I will be putting our LinkedIn on YouTube here, and I just included pictures from my professor and my classmates so they would know what the actual tools look like. But back to the questions of what am I trying to solve? I'm trying to solve their behavior issues. How will I know if they got it? Well, we're looking for over 65% success for however many days it was possible for them to earn. If they struggle, then if they continued to struggle, they didn't. But if they had, I would have probably brought my increments back down. So if you were successful at 2 minutes, but not at 4 minutes, let's back down to 3 and see how you do. Let's back down to 2 until I could get them successful again. And then maybe instead of going up a whole day, I might stay for 2 days in a row. And then, so I'm hoping, like, if it worked for me, maybe you guys want to try to work for you. Like, I'm hoping more teachers in the building would be willing to try it. And I know there are other teachers who have tried this strategy last year as well. Do you guys have a praise about the program, a suggestion for how to use it? You kind of already gave me your suggestion. No, I'm glad. Or any questions about how to use it?
I have actually done this strategy. I did the first steps next. I thought it was really like cumbersome. I thought to like keep up track of a timer and keep track of the tallies.
Yeah.
Just because it's like when you're teaching, every minute a timer is going off. It's like
an interruption.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's why I think.
But so is people yelling out like every 30 seconds. So it's like, am I taking that 30 seconds to praise you and say, or that minute to praise you and say, great job, tally, and move on? Or are we going to take that time and be like, quit yelling out? Oh no, you quit yelling out. Oh no, you like, and then everybody. So I mean, I see your point too, because that's when you explained it. Like when you were explaining, I was like, ooh, but then I started like trying to.
Yeah, and I thought that at first, and I think I felt that at first to some degree. But then when I was able to transition over from saying anything like, oh, you got it, or oh my gosh, we're on red, when I would just flip it and they'd be like, as a cue themselves, then I just continued teaching and it got less interruptive, I guess.
And if you have that really trustworthy student, then it beeps, you push your button, and they tally yourself without you even saying anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you, depending on, I don't know who it would be off the top of my head.
Judith has done it for me.
So, I mean, if you trust her to, like, when it's time to look at you and be like, oh, and then keep going, then you don't, at that point, you don't have to say anything. You just push a button and keep going.
I did it with first graders too last year, so that makes a difference too.
Yes.
Yes. And did you find, the one thing that I'm finding is sometimes, like, I've leaned over to work with a student and it's hanging, and now I've stood
I find that
up,
with this.
and it's on the wrong color.
And they're like,
I know.
they're like, who?
So I did finally say to my tallier that they need, of course they're watching me anyway, let me know, like you could kind of point at me or point at your own belly and I'll look and check. like maybe I didn't mean to turn it, and they did okay with that. But there was a handful of times that it would beep, and I would look down and be like, actually, you should have been on this color. I'm sorry it turned. And nobody like pushed back on that. So, or whatever that's worth.
I really like the visualization of it, because they can see instead of hearing. Stop talking. They can see like, oh, I need to check this, or they can see like, we're doing a good job, because you might not be able to always say, hey, great job while you're in the middle of teaching.
Right.
So I really like that.
And I think they like the privacy of it. Like, rather than me saying, James, I hear your voice, or I still hear talking over here. Like it was less embarrassing. And if I turned it and the kids weren't talking, it would be like, shh. And it was kind of helpful that way.
Right.
I don't know. So yeah, let me know if you want to use the materials, if there's anything I can do. Thank you guys.
Thank you.